Hi everyone. Let's see what comes for collective. When you realize how important you are for the creation, for all universe, your relationship with yourself will change. It will change forever. To understand your importance for all what is, you need to realize that without you, it will be not all what is. It will always be missing piece of the big puzzle. You are that piece of the big puzzle. You are that part of whole that also hold all creation. And because you are so important, you always will be. Because you are. And because you are always was. The fact that you are now here, it's the most important approval that you always was. Because the creation cannot lose part of itself. Your consciousness is part of creation. You can have a story about your birthday, your life, and maybe you have probability to go die someday. But it's only story that your mind telling you now, just to that everything what you experience here need to make sense, you know. That's why you tell a story about your experience here. But it's not a real story about you. The real story about you, that you're infinite, that you're part of creation that will never miss any part of itself, because it's impossible, because it's what exists cannot not exist, because it is, you know, because it is. It can change in form or not form. It can change in appearance. It can change in way of processing information. But in essence, it will never change. Each of you are part of creation. Each of you a very important part of creation. It is something what you call in your reality egg of life. It's hold your divine spark. It holds your divine DNA as a part of creator. It does not matter what kind of mutation, what kind of changes your DNA will explore in creation. Egg of life always stays the same. It's untouchable. It's your essence. It's in proof of your part of creation, part of divine, part of source. You don't need ever be worried about your destiny, because your destiny, it's written in stone. Written, no, written, written in stones. It does not matter what kind of story you experience and where you experience that, as multidimensional life force, as multidimensional way of exploring of itself. You are always untouchable, divine spark of God. Nothing can ever happen with you. Nothing can ever hurt you. Nothing can ever harm you in no way. It's only story that you tell about your life here and there. It's only story. You process your experience by telling the stories. But your story and your experience does not match. Really, really. Your story is always, oh, wait a moment. Your story is always much more limited than who you are, really. Your story that you tell about yourself, it cannot even come close to who you really are, you know. That's why for the creator, it does not matter what kind of story you experience, what kind of story you create, what kind of story you live, what kind of belief you explore. Because for creator, you are divine. You are just one of expression of a God self, you know. It's okay to have some stories. It's okay to love your story. It's okay to believe in your story. That's why you're here. You are here to create a story about yourself. Believe the story. Explore it. Explore it. To the biggest possible opposites of aspects of yourself. Feminine aspect, masculine aspect. Good aspect, light aspect, dark aspect. It does not matter. You have here carte blanche to experience everything what you want. What is here important? That you never forget that you are divine, that you are source energy, that incarnated here from curiosity, from need to explore itself, you know. And when you, through this way, have connection with it, origin of you, divine origin of you, you will never be confused about who you are. You will never be in fear of losing yourself, because it's impossible. You can never lose yourself, you know, because who you are, it's so obvious, it's so brilliant, it's so amazing. It is. You need only notice that. Wake up and notice who you really are. And see the story that you tell about yourself and who you really are. It's totally on, how we call it, on, it's not match between these two. Story lives own life. Story with part of you in the story has own life. And who you really are It's completely different experience, completely different exploring of itself, a different level of exploring of itself, different level of knowing itself, different level of being itself, you know, who you really are. You have no stories. It is no story there. It's only beingness, being life force, divine spark. Who you really are and the story that you're telling never match. Don't try to match it. Don't try to bring it even in close to each other, because it's impossible. You only need to shift your perception of yourself from storyteller story about who you are, about your life, about your relationships, connections, and everything, all included there. You need to put your attention, put your awareness from the story to the real you. That has no name on it. It has no label on it. I am who I am. And my will is the law. Yes. I hope you will realize that, because it's not difficult to realize. It's maybe difficult to believe when you look at this message from perspective of a storyteller. But when you live this perspective and the common connection with itself, itself knows the truth about you, about who you are, about your origin. It knows everything. It knows everything. It's belief in your ability to step out of story and experience yourself who you really are consciously. Consciously. Okay. Thank you for watching. It's for today. Bye bye. Please share it. You know. Be blessed. Love yourself. You are amazing. Bye bye.